Good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Wisdom Onyisi. First, the headlines. President Tinubu arrives Brazil for G20 summit. Senegal parliamentary elections, over 7 million expected to vote. Interior Minister says Gabon has approved a new constitution. And on sport, on AFCON 2025 qualification, Eguavoen reviews Super Eagles' mission against Rwanda. Now the news in details. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has arrived Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, for the 19th Heads of State and Government Summit of the Group of 20, called G20. Arriving on Sunday at 3 minutes after 11 on the local time, that is Monday, on 3 minutes after 3 on the AM side Nigerian time, the President was received by Bruno Costal in the Ministry of External Relations of Brazil. President Tinubu will also hold bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the summit in advancement of Nigerian socio-economic reforms. Brazil's President Lula da Silva is hosting the 2024 G20 summit, having held the group's rotating presidency since December 21st, 2023. The summit, with the theme Building a Just World and a Sustainable Planet, will focus on 3 dimensions of sustainable development: economic, social, and environmental, and the reforms of global governance. Away from that, since last month, when a new national coalition, Save Democracy Mega Alliance 2027, launched a campaign to amend Nigeria's constitution to remove the presidency authority over the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and state governors' power over the State Independent Electoral Commission, SIECs. Quite a number of Nigerians have applauded the move. The coalition is also pushing for amendment in the constitution to equally remove the president's power over the judiciary, particularly in the appointment of the Chief of Justice of Nigeria, CJN, as well as the Chief Judge of State in the case of state governors. Before the group launched the campaign, there had been calls from several quarters to remove the powers to appoint the heads of the electoral bodies and judicial arms of the government from the president. The argument behind the call is that such practice does not guarantee the full independence of both the electoral body and the judiciary because he who pays the viper detects the tune. The coalition is also arguing along the same line as it insisted that removing such powers from the president will prevent executive influence in the electoral and judicial systems by transferring the power to appoint heads of the 2 institutions to a new independent body to be set up thereafter. Speaking at a briefing in Abuja recently, the coalition spokesperson Tony Akani Lemon announced that the coalition will formally launch the campaign across all states, culminating in a boot camp final in Abuja. Away from that, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET has forecast moderate dust and sunshine from Monday to Wednesday across the country. NIMET weather outlook released on Sunday in Abuja predicted moderate dust on Monday with localized visibilities of less than or equal to 1,000 meters anticipated throughout the forecast period in the northern region. According to NIMET, slight dust with localized visibilities of 2 km to 5 km is expected during the forecast period in the north central region. It says that in the south, patches of cloud with sunshine intervals are expected over the inland and the coastal cities during the morning hours. Later, during the afternoon and evening hours, thunderstorms with slight rains are expected over parts of rivers, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and Bayelsa. The agency anticipated moderate dust in the northern region on Tuesday with localized visibility of less than or equal to 1,000 meters throughout the forecast period. According to NIMET, slight dust with localized visibilities of 2 km and 5 km expected during the forecast period in the north central region. Now when we return, news from other parts of West Africa. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Welcome back. Now news from other parts of West Africa. In Ghana, the Teachers and Educational Workers Union of the Trade Union Congress is set to begin nationwide strike today, Monday, November 18th, in protest over the government's failure to address long-standing concern regarding their condition of service. The union has expressed significant frustration with the government's delay in concluding, signing, and implementing revised conditions of service for workers under the Ghana Education Service and the Ghana Library Authority, the Museums and the Monument Board, as well as the public technical and traditional universities. The union has highlighted that negotiations for these revision has been ongoing for several years without resolution, leading to growing dissatisfaction among its members. However, from that, let's also have you know that voters in Senegal are choosing today 165 lawmakers in the nation's assembly, where the party of President Bassirou Diomaye Faye currently does not hold a majority. 41 list of candidates with 4 major coalitions dominating the race. Former President Macky Sall leads the Takul Walulu opposition platform. Faye, who was elected in March on an anti-establishment platform, said that he has blocked him from executing the reforms he pledged during the campaign, including fighting corruption, reviewing fishing permits for foreign companies, and securing a bigger share from the country's natural resources for the population. His Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko was not present in the assembly when the opposition threatened a vote of no confidence. Now we move to other parts of Africa after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of Africa. Voters line up outside polling stations in Gabon's capital Libreville on Saturday to cast their ballots in a referendum on whether the country should adopt a new constitution. Nearly 1 million people in the oil-rich nation are expected to cast a ballot. The final draft of the new constitution project was made public less than a month ago. The head of the transition, General Oligui Nguema, who overthrew Ali Bongo a year ago, was satisfied. The draft constitution imposes a 7-year term renewable only once, instead of the current charter that allows for 5 years terms renewable without limit. It also says family members cannot succeed a president and abolishes the position of prime minister. The draft needs more than 50% of the vote cast to be adopted. If the vote says wins, yes, presidential polls are scheduled in August 2025. Up next is business. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now to business news. The Nigerian federal government has spent $1.36 billion to service outstanding debts owed to 12 international and multilateral creditors in the first 6 months of 2024. This is according to an analysis of data from the public debt risk report released by the Debt Management Office. The figure for payment made between January to June 2024 represents a 216.7% increase from $431.23 million recorded in the corresponding period of 2023. However, observe that the increase was driven primarily by a sharp rise in the interest rate, which significantly impacted borrowing costs, leading to higher expenses for the government. Still on business news, the International Monetary Fund has identified property tax as a key revenue source for sustainable growth in Nigeria and low-income countries. This was disclosed in a recent analysis by the IMF. It stated recurrent taxes on immovable property could help local governments capture the wealth generated through construction-intensive urbanization. Generating such revenue fairly is especially important given the difficulty in developing countries of taxing income and wealth, which can be highly mobile. According to the IMF, global government will need to raise an estimated $3 trillion to meet development goals by 2030, with emerging markets requiring 4% of the GDP and low-income countries a challenging 16%. Now, still to come, sports. Stay with us. Welcome back now to Sport News. Super Eagles caretaker coach Friday, November 22nd in Morocco. The Confederation of African Football announced this on its official website over the weekend. The Mohammed VI Technical Center in Sel, Morocco will host the draw ceremony. Morocco will host the competition from July 5th till July 26th of 2025. Nine-time champions, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, are among the 12 teams that have qualified for the competition. Bayana of South Africa won the last edition of the competition in 2022, which was also hosted by Morocco. And that's your sport news on Africa Today. We move to the rest of the news after this break. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hillstv, Poker.
Glad to have you back. Now the rest of the news. Gabon's military ruler said the new constitution has been overwhelmingly approved in a referendum according to provisional results published over the weekend. The Interior Minister said 91.8% of voters had said yes to the charter, with a turnout estimated at 53.5%. The junta in power, led by interim President Bruce Oligui Nguema, has promised it will be a stepping stone in the transition to democratic rule, tentatively scheduled for the summer of 2025. And that's Africa Today. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We brought to you that Tinubu arrives Brazil for G20 summit. We informed you that Senegal parliamentary election, over 7 million expected to vote. We informed you that Interior Minister says Gabon has approved a new constitution. And on sports, we informed you on AFCON 2025 qualification, Eguavon reviews Super Eagles mission against Rwanda. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hillstv Abuja, Instagram at Hillstv Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hillstv. I am Wisdom Onizi. Thanks for watching.